Hi, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's really nice to have you guys here. It is always fun for me teaching you guys, and I think it should be fun for you learning all these things. So if you're an existing subscriber, I want to thank you again for coming back to my channel to watch my videos. And if you are new here, you just saw the video online or through any suggestion, please at the end of this video I will make sure that I'm convince you to let you know that this video and all my videos are actually valuable enough for you to subscribe. I have a lot of videos that are really good for young people and also for people that are new to programming and like the world of AI. Okay, sounds good. So in today's class we're going to be going into introduction to data in machine learning. Introduction to data in machine learning. Before I continue, so if this is the first video that you are watching, I will really encourage you to go and watch the previous video. So I've done two videos already in this series, right? The first one is the introduction, the second one is using Google Colab and setting it up to program and all of that. So today is more about data, right? And everything in machine learning is all about data, because your AI model needs data to learn, just like we humans, like babies, need data to learn. Babies learn from their parents, from their siblings, by looking at them doing stuff. Like they collect data in their brain and all of that. Just like that, AI also needs data. Even kids, when they go to school, like you see your teacher write stuff, you see stuff in your textbooks, your math, your English. These are all data that you are putting in your memory, that you are learning from. Okay, so that's the same way machine works, right? So they all need data to learn from. And you can see from here, this diagram right here is like an example of enormous data that we need, that AI needs, right? Then the data will go into the AI brain, then the AI will be able to learn. Okay, but before I go into more of the slide, so in my previous video, the code that I wrote, I got feedback that the font is really small. Okay, so if you're not able to write the code in the second video, so I have the code right here, and I hope this one is big enough for you to write your code. Okay, so if you didn't write the code for the second class and you are watching this, I will encourage you to write this code, right? So this should be big enough. Then you write the code and you can work on it. Okay, so the code is like this one is just printing stuff. Okay, this cell, then this one is where we start writing some things. Okay, so you can just pause this video and write all of this. So this one, we are just importing some libraries in Google Colab, right? This one is TensorFlow. Again, this code is just to show you guys example, right? As we go into the video more, I will explain more about what this code is actually doing. Okay, so just write all of this. Okay, so then when you write this one, then when you click on it, this one is actually downloading an example of AI model that someone have done before. That so like this AI model is able to identify images, right? So when you click on it and you run it, it will download the AI for you. Then this code right here is now, we are now saying, okay, we've downloaded the AI and we want the AI to predict an image for us to see if the AI is good. Okay, so the example that we use is the dog. Okay, so you have to go to the internet, right? So download dog image. Okay, so let's say we just download this. Still loading. So you can download this, save image, then ideally just name it dog. Okay, so that you don't have issues. Okay, so I have it in my download, so it's dog.jpg, right? So then you just come in here. So we want our dog, so because the dog image must be in here, must be in our sample data, because I say the dog image is inside my sample data, correct? So this is sample data, so we have to import the image in sample data. So all you have to do, so if this is not showing for you, you just have to click on this folder right there, then this will show for you. Then you can expand this. Then you need to right click on this sample data and say upload. Then you go into your download, then you see this is the dog image. Then you say this. Okay, so this is a dog image. So you see now it's dog.jpg, so I have to change this to jpeg. Okay, so now when I run this, so this code will be able to find my dog image, and the AI that I downloaded from the internet should be able to predict what kind of image is. Okay, so I just loaded that, and so you see it's able to predict it right here. So, and this one is like a breed of dog, you know. So if you Google this, you will see you can remove this space if you want to. Yeah, my internet is kind of slow. Okay, so you can see, so this Labrador retriever is like an example of dog. So the AI was able to predict that. Okay, so that is for that. So that is if you are unable to do the first code, like the code in the second class, though, because it's kind of too small. Hopefully this is big for you. Okay, so now let's go into this what we have today. Okay, so just like a recap of what we did in the last class. So we went through what is Google Colab, because Google Colab is the application that we're going to be using. So we go into how to use Google Colab, you know, as example of what we have here, and I also explain how to have access to Google Colab. So if you've not watched that video, please go and watch it, because we're going to be using Google Colab in this class. Okay, so what can I use it for? How to design machine learning model with it, then sharing your work with Google Colab, then hands-on activity, you know. So we did all of that. Okay, so in today's class it's going to be all about data. So introduction to data. Some of the concepts might be difficult, or you might not understand, because I know some young people are watching this video. Okay, like very young, like 7 or 8 years old. Okay, so if you don't understand, like just write all your questions down, you know, and you can ask me, you know. And even if you still don't understand, like just understand the simple concept, you know, of it, you know. Then when you get older, you know, you'll be able to understand the big picture. Okay, but I tried as much as possible to simplify all of these things. All right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is just general introduction to data, like what is data, you know, like what is data, you know. So then we're going to be looking at the data set in the machine learning, right? The difference between data and data set, and how do we use data set in machine learning, because we say that in machine learning everything that we do is around data, because the machine that we want to that want to learn needs data. Okay, so that's what they call data set. Then data collection and sources. So if we need data to train AI, then where do we get the data from? So let's say you need you want to train your AI, you know, to be able to identify people's faces, right? Then you need to train your AI with example of people's faces, right? So where do you get that data? Because you can't go in your neighborhood then be taking pictures of people's faces all around. They'll probably arrest you. Okay, so there are places that we can get data that we can use to train our AI. So I will also show you guys where to get data, you know, for free, of course. Then there's something called data preprocessing. This concept might be a little bit complex, but I will try to simplify it. So again, I won't go too much into details for now. Then there's something called exploratory data analysis, EDA. So this one is just you getting summary of what your data looks like. Okay, please don't get carried away with this big time or grammar or anything, right? I will bring it down that you guys will understand it, and the goal is not for you to cram this in your head. The goal is for you to understand and relate with it. Okay, so please don't get carried away. Okay, I will explain in very simple terms for you. All right, then after that we are going to have some hand-on activity, maybe like homework, that you will do your own data exploration by yourself, and I think you should be able to do it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so introduction to data. So these are just definitions. Okay, again, the goal is not for you to cram this definition, but if you can remember the definition, it's fine. Yeah, if someone asks you what is data, you can say, oh, data is this, but my goal is more for you to kind of understand what data is and look at your environment and say, oh, this is data, right? That's the goal. Okay, so for example, now data is raw fact and figures without context. Okay, so this is saying that data is just like numbers, that has no meaning. Like you don't know what that data is. So for example, image of an animal. Okay, so if just assume that you've never seen a lion before, and you've never seen a picture of lion in any book, and someone just gave you the picture of lion for the first time, that is a data, but you don't have any meaning. Like that data doesn't have any context or meaning to you, right? So that is what data is. Then data can also be like list of 1,000 numbers. So like someone just give you like a list of numbers, 1,000 numbers, right? So that is data. You don't know the meaning of that data. You don't know, maybe like that data is maybe like the number of the temperature in the environment, for over 1,000 days, or is the number of the ages of the people that lives in your neighborhood. Like the data is just numbers. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so now we have something called information. Wait, I think it goes this way. Okay, data and knowledge. No, wait, it goes this way: data, information. Okay, so now from data it goes to information. So information is data processed and given context. Okay, so now from image of an animal, so now is an image of a dog. Okay, so now, someone gave you an image of an animal which makes no sense to you, but then the person now told you that, oh yeah, this is image of a dog. Okay, so now that means the data now has more information to it. It has context. So that is what information is called. Then if the list of the 1,000 number is temperature reading, so now you know that, oh yeah, these numbers are temperature readings. Okay, so that is what data and information again, it's not for you to cram this, it's just for you to understand that data is just something. Okay, just imagine that you have textbook, in your school, maybe like the beginning of a year, and then you look at the textbook, then you saw all the math equations, you saw all the things that you need to do for the year. At first it doesn't make sense to you. That's just data. But now when you go to class, your teacher will now explain what that data is. Then that is information. Okay, I think you should be able to get that. Okay, so now from information we can have knowledge. Information is further processed to be useful. For example, so now we know that the image of a dog is dog, but now we want to get more knowledge about that dog, so we say, oh, dog is a pet. Okay, then the temperature reading, we can say, oh, the temperature is how hot or cold the environment is. Okay, so that's that one. Then from knowledge we have wisdom. So knowledge applied for decision making. For example, so now that we know that like the image is dog is a pet, so if you want to create an AI like a robot that interact with dog, so you say, oh, like robots should be friendly to dog, right? Because dog is a pet, right? Then you can say, you can use the temperature reading for weather forecasting. Okay, so this is just showing you that the big picture of how AI uses data. Okay, so you have raw data, then the goal is to use that data to make AI to have knowledge or wisdom or something like that. So that's what we call artificial intelligence. You want to put intelligence in AI, right, like in a machine, right, through data. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Again, just think about it. Okay, so we have types of data. Okay, so we have three types of data that we can use to train our AI. So first one is data organized in rows and columns, like a spreadsheet or database. I'm not sure if you guys have used so like spreadsheets is like what you see in Excel. So if you have not used Excel before, again, it's totally fine. So this one is just saying that structured data are data that maybe like you arrange them in maybe like 1 2 3 4 5 and all of that. You can use that data to teach machine how to do something. Okay, so then we have unstructured data, right? Data not organized, so e.g. text, images and all of that. So you can see like this is actually tiny images of things around. Okay, so we can use this image like this, like all these images, to teach AI to do something, right? Okay, so this is unstructured data. Again, I'm just trying to let you guys understand that we have different types of data that your machine can learn from. I could just jump into the code and just try it, like start writing, but I want you guys to have basic knowledge of what you are learning, right? You pause, you think about it, and think about your, like, how this interact with your environment. Okay, so then we have semi-structured data. This one you don't need to worry too much about it. So they are mostly JSON files. You guys might not know it, but like this is just like a way of trying to organize. So like if you have information about like a person, you can put them in this format. Okay, it's called JSON. Okay, and you can also use it to train your AI. But in the examples that we'll be using, we'll be using more of structured data and unstructured data to teach our machine, and like stuff. Okay, just imagine that we have structured data of like temperature reading of your environment, right? And that temperature, you can use that temperature to train an AI to say, oh yeah, if I know the list of all this temperature, then I can predict that tomorrow the temperature will be something like this, something like that. Okay, then for images, you can show your AI model different images of animals or people and all of that, and your AI model will be able to predict if an image is a person or dog or cat, by itself. Okay, so that's the goal of that. So I'll be showing you some example of data. Of course, today we are going to write some code, so get ready. Okay, so now this is data. Okay, so now we have something called data set. Okay, so we have data, then we have data set. Okay, so data set is collection of data point used to train and evaluate machine learning models. Okay, so imagine that you have like data of maybe like an image of an animal. Okay, you want to use it to train your AI model. You can't use one image to train your model. No, so you need like thousands, all right, or 5,000 of images. So the collection of all the data is called data set. It's just simple as that. So data set of data. It's just as simple as that. So we use it to train AI. Okay, so for example, to train AI to identify a cat, you have to show it different pictures of cat, not just one. Okay, so that is what data set is all about. So I'll be saying like using the word data set a lot. Okay, so when I say data set, is just a collection of data, like group of data. Okay, that's what that is. So for example, so what are in data set? So a data set has features that an AI can learn from. Okay, for example, when an AI see the data, like see the image of a cat and say, oh, cat has tails. Okay, and so an AI can use that to identify cats in the future. Okay, so and Dataset also has labels, so when you show an AI the picture of a cat, you have to tell AI that this is cat. Okay, so you have to label the data. All right, so because that's the only way that the AI can, because if you just give AI the image of a cat and you don't tell the AI like this is a cat, like AI won't know. Just like you showing the image of a cat to your sibling or like a baby, and you just show the image and you didn't say like this is a cat, the baby will not be able to learn from that. Okay, so that's the same way. So again, I'll be showing you guys some examples of this, okay, as we proceed in the class. So we have types of data set. Okay, so this one again might be complex, but just follow. Okay, so when you have big data set like maybe 1,000, let's say 10,000 images, okay, so we want to use that data to train our AI. Okay, so but if you have 10,000 images, you don't use all the 10,000 images to train your AI, so you use a portion of it to train the AI, then you also use a portion of it to validate the AI, right, to say okay, so I train you with 5,000 images, okay, to identify cat. Okay, so now take these 1,000 images and tell me, are all of these cats? Something like that, so like that is actually used to avoid to avoid errors, and it's also called overfitting. Okay, so again, that's like advanced concept, but yeah, that's what that is. So just know that when you have your data set, we actually have to group them into three, called training, data set, validation, and test. Okay, so that we can use those three data set to do different things. Okay, so we have some examples of AI data set that we'll be using more in this class, right? So there's one called MNIST handwriting digit, there's one called cipher 10, and there's this one. Okay, so I will show you an example of this. So this one, MNIST, is just like data set of numbers that the people wrote down on paper. Okay, so the goal is to train AI to be able to identify figures, right? Because like the way I write my figure 1 is not the same way that you will write your figure 1, and it's not the same way that your friend will write figure. So we need to write different types of figure 1 so that AI will be able to capture everyone. Okay, then also this cipher 10 images is just the images of like almost everything that we have in our environment that AI can learn from. So let me show you guys example of this. So you see this MNIST data set. So the example of this is just this, right? You see like 00111. So like this is example of the data that we can use to teach AI. Okay, so I'm not going to download the data set because we are not writing the code for that right now, but just for you guys to see how it looks like. See this one, very tiny. Okay, so this example of data set that AI can learn from, and like AI can use it to identify figures. Okay, then this one, this cipher 10 data set is just, well, like collection of like all objects or animals around. You can see horse, you can see different things. Okay, so the idea is this data set, you have it, then you label it and say this is dog, this is cat, this is horse, then you give that data set to your AI to learn from it. Okay, so that is what data set is, right? And we're going to be using some of it. Okay, hopefully you guys are still following me. You understand that data, you understand data is just raw data with no information. Then data set is a collection of that data. All right, okay, so now the question is, where do we get data set to teach our AI model when we are ready to teach our AI model, right? Like I said before, you can't go around and taking pictures of people, to get your data. But I mean, if you're in the university, you can do a study, then you go and interview people, to get data from them. But it is expensive to go around and all of that, right? But there are places that you can get data set that are really good, and some of the website that we're going to be using in this class are these three. Okay, again, when we are ready to get the data, I will show you guys where and how to use it. Okay, so there's one called Kaggle. Okay, so this is a platform with diverse data set across various domains, used for machine learning competitions, right? We can get our data set from there, and we can even participate in the competition, right? You can go to kaggle.com, and you see they will have some competition. You will subscribe to the competition, you will write AI code, and if you win, they will give you some money. Okay, so then there is this one, UCI machine learning repository. Also, we can get data from here. Then we can also get data from some government database like US sensor data. We can use that data. Is open source. We can use it and use it to train our AI. Okay, so after this one, we're going to start coding. Okay, I love coding more than this, but it's really good for you guys to understand what you are coding, before you start coding. Okay, so now we have our data set. Like we download the data set from Kaggle or from US government database or from UCI. Okay, so then how do we start using the database? Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is that there's something called data cleaning or pre-processing. Okay, so like what I say here, what does this even mean? Okay, it's just so imagine that you want to train an AI to identify animals. Okay, so you will give the AI an animal data set to learn from. That is correct. So if you want to teach AI to identify animals, you give it all the example of animals. That kind of makes sense. All right, so now imagine you mistakenly include the images of cars in your database or in your data set, right? That will cause issues because you want to train your AI to identify animals, then by mistake you added image of cats in your data set. So data cleaning or data pre-processing is to make sure that you don't have that error. So data cleaning is the process of making sure that your data is good. That is just as simple as that. Is making sure that if you say I want the images of cat, it's just cat, right? Right, so that's something. Then also if you have data set of numbers, like in your Excel or anything that you want to teach your AI, you have to make sure that there are no missing data point, and all of that. Okay, so let me just go through this. So data cleaning is handling missing values, removing duplicate, and correcting errors. Like I said, data transformation, this one might be kind of complex, but again I will explain it better in the code. So so we have normalization, standardization, and encoding categorical variables. Please don't worry yourself more about this. Yeah, so I will explain this better. Then we have data reduction, feature selection, dimensionality reduction. Okay, so enough of all this. So let's start coding. So let's just try to get some example of data set, and try to clean it up, and try to get some insight from the data. Okay, so let's go to our Google Colab. Okay, so the way to get to Google Colab, of course, if you have this open already, fine, but if you don't have it, you can just go to Colab right in here. So and you see, yeah, so this is not the account that I want. So if this is not the account that you want to, so you have to switch to the account that you want. Okay, so this is one way to get there, right? So then you can just go to click on this, and then you go to lesson 1 code, which will take you here. All right, so another way to do that is the Gmail that you are using. You can open the Gmail that you are using, then you just go to your Google Drive. Okay, Google Drive, then you just double click on this, then it will take you here. All right, so okay, so now we are in lesson 1, so we want to write code for lesson 2. So all you have to do is just click on this, and then you say new notebook. It's thinking about it. My system is slow today. Then it gives us this, so let's carefully, so just double click on this. Let's carefully change this to lesson 2. Make sure that you don't change this part, okay? Then just press enter. Okay, so sounds good. And let me just close this. Let me close it so that so now then click on this folder and click on this. So the data that we are going to be working on is already in Google Colab for us. So is the California housing data. So let's just double click on it. So this data, it shows the location of houses in California, which is the longitude and latitude, the median age of the house, the total number of room, the population, the number of the household, the medium income, and the value of the house. So this data set is just giving us like data about houses in California, right? So now we can develop an AI, right, using this data and say, oh yeah, if I have this salary, what kind of house can I buy in California, right? So the AI will now say, oh yeah, this is the medium income, like I can plug your income into this and say, oh yeah, this is the value of the house that you can buy. Okay, so that's just example of a data set. Okay, so we're going to write some code, to go through this data set, to do some data cleaning and to do some data visualization, which is this. So let's just get started. So the data is in here for us already, so we don't have to go and download it from Cargo or from US Dataset. Okay, so again, I'll be pasting the code because I don't want the video to be too long. Okay, so just pause it and write the code. Okay, hopefully this is big enough for you guys to see. Then let me just close this so that it will be much more bigger. So what this is saying is, since we have our data in Google Colab, we have to load the data. So this one is saying, let's first load our data set. Okay, then for us to load our data set, there are some libraries that we need. Okay, so like libraries are the code written already by some people that we can use in our code. Okay, so we import pandas. Again, I think I will do a video to just explain all of these libraries, right? But just write the code right now. So import pandas as PD. Like this panda is used for data manipulation, like something like that. Then we import matplotlib.pilot as plt. Please make sure that you get the spelling right. So this one is used for plotting data. Okay, so we're going to be plotting some graphs, from our data. Then this one is also used for data processing, so import this one too. Okay, so now that we import everything, so now we want to load our data. Again, our data is in here, right, in sample data, then California house test. Okay, so we'll create a variable called URL, and is equal to, then you have a single quote, then you put a period, /, then put all of this. So this one is trying to locate where our data is. If you don't put it the right way, you are going to get error. Okay, so just imagine that I don't put this in here, then I run my code. Okay, I'll get error that I can't find it. Okay, so assuming that you put everything correctly, then you run your code, you should get this. So let me put GPU. Okay, good. It's saying I have too many sessions using GPU. I think the other one, yeah, this one is using it, so let me cancel it. Okay, so you see, you can't open two Google Colab together. Okay, so that's why I have to close one. So let me run this one again. Okay, so it's connecting, it's loading. So good. So let's click on this. Okay, so now we have loaded our data, so we just want to see what is in our data set. Okay, just example of what is in our data set. Okay guys, so let's just so we've loaded our data, so let's just see some summary of the data, because you see we have 3,000 data points. Okay, so it will be difficult for us to go through everything and look at how the data is, so we can actually write code to just see some examples of what is in there. Okay, so I'm going to copy a code and put it in here. So this is just a comment, so let's just get a summary of our data set. Okay, so this one, so this is just printing like basic information about the data, and then you say df.info. then remember df is data frame. Okay, so df is the panda that we use to read our data as CSV. Okay, so when I run this now, it should give me basic information about our data set. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, you see, so it give us some cryptic information, but you can see we have 3,000 data point, as you can see from here. So we have, so like the columns that we have longitude and latitude, which is the location of the house. So we have house median age, so the age of the day, like the house, the number of rooms, the bedrooms, the population, the household, the income, and the value of the house. Okay, so like this one kind of give you like summary of the data that you are working with, right? So that you can see what you can use the data to teach your AI. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. Okay, so let's do one more thing. So let's assume that we want to see like some statistics about the data, like what's the maximum median income, stuff like that. So we can also use code to do that again. So this is just data. We are just looking at the data, just checking stuff. Okay, so we've not started training our AI yet, and this video is not for training AI. This video is just for understanding data. Okay, so this one will print summary about the data. Okay, so you just print, then you double quote backslash and n. So this backslash, okay, this one we don't actually need it. Okay, so summary of statistics, so data frame dot describe. So let's see what this is gonna come out with. Okay, so let's wait a second. So we have our longitude and latitude, which has mean. This is the mean, this is the standard deviation. Again, these are just math stuff, and since we have very young people here, just look at the numbers. Okay, if you don't understand what mean is and all of that, it's okay, but I think we have some other people watching this too, okay, that will understand what standard deviation is. But if you don't understand, don't think about it. You can Google it, but this class is not a maths class. Okay, so this is just showing you that you can get some information about the data, and this one is a max. For example, now the median house value, the max is this, right? So the max value of the house is $500,000, right? So something like this we can do all. So you see how we can load our data, and how we can get some basic information, and how we can also get some statistics from our data. Okay, so we can also do okay, let's just stop this one for now here. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you guys is what is called please make sure that you write all this code and everything comes out clean. Okay, so please, it's very important. I mean, we really don't need it to train our AI, but it's always good before you use your data to train your AI to know what is in your data. Okay, that's what this is doing, right? To have understanding, like get basic information about your data. Okay, So the next thing that we are going to be looking at is what is called exploratory data analysis, EDA. Okay, so why, okay, first, yeah, so I mean, like, this looks like big word and all of that, but first, why do we need this? Okay, again, imagine you have a data set of 200k numbers, like this one is like 3,000. This one is even small, and you want to use it to train your AI. So what if you want to know the maximum or minimum number in your data before training your AI? Okay, so this one is saying that if you want to get some basic information about your data, you know, you can't go through all the numbers, right? So we use something called EDA to do that. So EDA is just to understand data set, to uncover patterns. I mean, like, this is also part of EDA actually, you know, then to spot some anomalies, check assumptions and all of that, you know. Then how do we do it? We use descriptive statistics, which is actually what is in here, right? Mean, blah blah blah. Then we use something called data visualization. Okay, so let's assume that we want to just see how does this housing median age look on a graph or something like that, you know. To visualize the data, we can use this. Okay, so again, please don't get lost in the name of this. Just know that this is just being used to get summary or just information about the data. Okay, so we are going to write some code to just plot some graphs, you know, to see our data point, and then from there I will give you guys homework, right, to go through some things. Okay, so again, I've written the code. Let me just copy it, you know, because of time. All right, so let me do this. I'll try to explain the code line by line. Okay, so there's something called histogram in statistics. Again, if you don't know it, it's fine. When the plot comes out, you will see it. Histogram is just, you know, like one of the tools used in statistics to see relationship with data point and stuff like that. Okay, so this plot, if you remember, is what we got from matplotlib, which I told you that we used to draw stuff. Okay, so we want to have a figure, and the size of the figure is 10 by 6. Make sure that you write everything correctly. So now we want to use this histo plot. So we want to plot the median house value, right? So we want to see how the value of the house changes over time. Okay, so then this one is just plot title, so distribution of median house value, right? Then the x label is median house value. Again, if you don't understand all this concept, it's fine. Okay, this is just for data visualization. Okay, so the x label means that, like, what we are going to write on the x-axis. The x-axis is the bottom line. Okay, bottom line, yeah. Then the y label is the y axis. So let me run this so that you guys will see it. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, you can see, so the house value is going this way, and the frequency, so this one is saying that the house value of, let's say, 100,000, we have almost like 230 houses that has the value of this, you know. So like this, just for you guys to get information about the information about the data, right? So you can see the value of like houses with $300,000 is, if you trace it all the way to the left, is more like 75. So we have 75 houses that have this value. Okay, you know, then 500,000 is like almost 150. Okay, so this is what data visualization is. Okay, so this histogram, so we just plot an histogram. Okay, so that's just it, you know, knowing data, knowing where to get data, and knowing how to write simple code to get information about your data. Okay, so the homework that I will be giving you guys is this. So let me put a new code in here. So the homework that I have for you guys is this. So write code to show histogram median income of the families. Just update the code up. So like this one, all you have to do is just create a new cell, copy all this code, then paste it here and change median house value to median income. And the median income is, you have to check it here. So median income, so median underscore income, right? So you put median underscore income here, then you change the title. So now it's going to be distribution of median income, not median house value anymore. Then the X label will be median income, then the frequency will still be frequency, and then you just put that in here, then you run the code and it will give you a graph that will look different than this one. Okay, hopefully you guys are able to do that. It's really simple, I guess. So I think that will be the end of this class. Again, this is just introduction to data for you guys to understand data. There are some of the words that you will not understand, but try to compare like everything that I'm saying to what you see around you, because when we start fully coding our AI, I will not be explaining too much of this. I will just say, oh yeah, data set. I will just say, oh yeah, mean. I will just say, oh yeah, let's plot something, but you need to know why we are doing all of that, right? And that's why I'm trying to use this medium to explain why we do all of that. Okay, so again, the homework is to change median house value to median income, right, and plot it and just run it and it should show this. Okay, so we come to the end of this video. Again, if you have any question, please put it in the chat, and if you have any suggestion of how to make this video better, please also put it in the chat. I'm always trying to get better so that we can all learn in a very good and better way. And for kids that are very young, and maybe this might be confusing, just the thing that you don't really know that you don't understand very well, you can also go and Google it, and if it's still hard for you to understand, just don't think too much about it. Okay, like just pick the one that you understand, right? Like the goal of this video is to help very young kids to just like introduction to machine learning, right? They might not be able to understand everything, right? Then for the older ones, and maybe like 10 above and all of that, they should be able to understand all this concept. Then for old people that are just that they just want to learn machine learning, right, they should be able to understand all the concept. Okay, so hopefully that kind of makes sense to everyone. So I will see you guys in the next video, and before that time, please make sure that you do your homework. That's the best way for you guys to learn. All right, see you guys in the next video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new here. Don't forget to please like my video. Come on, please. All right, I'm watching you. Please like my video. See you guys. Bye.